you doing? We're talking about this watch real quick here. I did a review, but didn't go as well as I thought it might. This is called a, well, it's the True North Watch Company. It is a homage, I suppose, to the Rolex Daytona. It's a chronograph. Everything works. Pretty nice watch. It is spec'd almost exactly to the original Daytona. And the only difference is, I mean, it's not a Rolex, but it's got 20 millimeter lug width instead of 19. So he did that to fit a bracelet. On the review that I did do, you can see the bracelet doesn't really match the case as much, but you know, so if you want to get this from them, try to get it with the Paul Newman Bund. This is not theirs. This is not the one that they sell. I made this last night from a piece of scrap, and in this video I'm going to put some clips and some quick snapshots of me, you know, making this from scrap leather. This is bison hide. It's like 5 or 6 ounce, pretty thick stuff. So this is the Mike Z tough guy version of the Paul Newman Bund. I studied it, and I looked up online what's available. I think you get them in crocodile skin. I could be wrong about that, but what I like about bison is it has that pattern in it. I'm gonna put this on. Hang on. So here we are. That's it. So in my wrist, it really does fluctuate. I've noticed it's like 7 5/8 when it's cold or at night, and then during the day it goes more up to like 7 3/4 or more. I noticed that with this band here. I keep adjusting it throughout the day. As you guys know, I call this the Gladiator watch cuff. And this is the first one I ever made. I made one for my brother. I really like these. I got some watches now. I'll be making more, but not necessarily exactly like this. I learned something last night doing this band here, which is, you know, I can do the pass-through. And if I do the pass-through in this way, big, thick, hunking piece of leather there, then you can fit it to any watch. I can make them for 19 or 20 millimeter lugs, and I just have to make them appropriately sized. This one here barely gets on me just right. It could go a little smaller. Somebody with a smaller wrist could wear this. I'm mentioning that because I might sell this thing. I don't know. But go to the True North Watch Company and check it out. You can see the dome on this watch. Let's give you a couple tighter shots on this and talk about the band real quick. I'm working on a Paul Newman Bund style band with this bison hide here. I've already made the strap parts. Well, I haven't made them yet, but I'm working on them. I glued them up. I had to machine the case again, as per usual, which really bums me out. I don't know how the heck you fit a band on this because the space between the case and the spring bar is very tight. Even bent here, you can see it's bent. But anyhow, it's a beautiful watch, True North Company, and stay tuned on this one. So it's interesting. If you look at pictures of Paul Newman, I encourage you to do so. I may have just inserted one or two. You'll see this watch on his wrist, and it looks a lot larger on his wrist, and the way his strap is, it looks flatter. That's because it's much, much, much thinner leather and a simpler construction than what I did. Because, I mean, as you guys know, I take everything to the nth degree. I can't help myself. I have to make everything tough. just like I live my life. So all hand saddle stitched. I used black thread this time, again, to try to mimic what Paul Newman's wearing. I lined this one with cowhide this time. I have an entire cowhide. It's gigantic. I've had it for close to 20 years. I got it from a guy. He just gave it to me, and I've been cutting little pieces off of it over the years, and I'm discovering that that's probably perfect for most of the way I need to do things. I don't need to do what I did here, where I did 2 thick layers of the bison hide, which is awesome. I would continue to do that for 50 millimeter watch faces like this one, or cases rather. It's better, it's chunkier. That's so tough, man. I love this. I've been wearing it every single day. Now that I did this, I gotta tell you, I do like it. I do like the way it wears on the wrist. I really do. I might have to hold on to this watch just because. But what I did was I bought some watches, and I will be making these things available. So if you dig it, if you dig what you're seeing right here, contact me and I'll make you one. And if you haven't seen, I think I got some stills in there already. I'm going to add some clips now of this thing. I want to point out that when I did a radio show, I don't even remember, man. It could have been 2 months ago now. And I sat next to Robert Carradine. He's the star of Revenge of the Nerds, and he was in the movie The Cowboys. And he was wearing a genuine Rolex Daytona. And I'm not schooled in Rolexes. I mean, I don't even look at stuff that I don't think I'd ever afford, And so he talked to me about that watch. He had been in a car wreck, and the watch got destroyed. And so he sent it to Rolex, and they rebuilt it for him. And I just think it's neat that, I got a really good story from him, talking to him about his watch, and then him telling me, and then me acquiring this. I did a review on the True North homage to the Tourneck Revel, 1962 watch that the Navy SEALs wanted. It's really a Blancpain. And the owner of the company contacted me, and we got along pretty well on the phone, and then he sent me this. So I also brought this to my watch guy, Mike. He owns a watch business over here called Majestic. Mike owns a bunch of Rolexes. He works on them, Patek Philippe's, Omegas. I mean, the guy's a watchmaker, watch repair guy. It's a high-end shop. And I asked him to look at this. He doesn't have a lot of knowledge on the Daytona necessarily, but obviously he's a Rolex guy. So he was very impressed with this watch. And because he was so impressed with this watch, it kind of went up a bit in my own mind because this is not my thing. This watch, as it was described to me by the owner of the company, was originally I think they called it a cosmograph. They were trying to get the NASA astronauts to wear these. And I guess that didn't really work out. But it's really interesting. This one happens to be a quartz movement. I was told that I think he said, I could be wrong, I think he said there might be an automatic coming out. And I think that the automatic will have the 19 millimeter lug. So it's going to be much closer to spec for the Rolex. I think that'll be an interesting watch. That'd be one I want. But as I mentioned, you can get this on a bracelet from them, but it also comes, if he's got them available, on a Bund. It is not going to look like this. I'm not knocking it. I haven't seen it. I would have preferred to get the Bund, but he didn't have enough, and he was giving it to me for nothing, so I understand. But this is it's super cool, man. It really does. It makes this, for me, it makes this wearable. Again, I didn't know about wrist size and watches and all that, but apparently I'm a little bit on the larger end of things. So these normal size watch cases, they just look so tiny on me. But if you're like me and you've got a 7.5 or close to 8-inch wrist, if you're in that range, then putting any watch on a leather Bund helps eat up the space on your wrist. right? Anyhow, I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and I'll give you a closing statement in a moment. All right, so here it is next to my Aragon, which is a 50 millimeter case. I figure I might as well do these measurements for you guys, just so, 49.9, 49.6 right there. Here's our specs on this thing, okay? It's I believe right here I'm measuring at the bezel is 37.8. If I take that off, I don't know if I can measure this underneath here. I believe it's a little bit smaller. It's going to be tough for me because it's on this Bund here. 30, I think it's 37 is actually what it measures out at the case underneath the bezel. And the overall thickness it's got a nice bubble crystal on it. You're looking at 12.8, approximately 13 millimeters. And again, as I mentioned, it's got about a 20 millimeter lug width. And it is a little over maybe. I noticed that when I made the leather because I cut it at 20 and it's slightly over. But yeah, at least you know what those specs are now. And again, it's just putting it on a Bund, it mans it up, It's a little too dainty, and this is my opinion, by the way. I get, crapped on all the time for voicing my opinion. But yeah, and I also like that it has drilled lugs because it does make it a little bit easier to change out the band. Now this watch, pet peeve, it's a problem. It's not a problem with this, I'm not knocking this watch. It's just something that I discovered with the Aragons. I had to machine the metal case to fit the leather because there was no room really between the spring bar and the case. I was kind of shocked to find that on this watch because it is available on a Bund. So I had to just hit the corner with a file to have enough room to put. And I skived this leather, these straps here. I did this old school. It's my first time making a two-piece leather strap lined. And I did it all the right way where I folded this over. I thinned it, I skived it down, folded it over, put this piece over it, glued it, and sewed it. So you can see it's not very thick here. So it's got the same thing here. I thinned it up quite a bit, but I still had to remove material off the case to make this work. I don't know if they're all like that, but I assume they are. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this. It's a badass watch. I mean, if you're looking for an affordable version of the Daytona, and if you're looking for one that you can get on a leather Bund, then go look at the True North Watch Company website. He's making a quality product. I've been having the chronograph go this whole time here, so we're looking at, it's been a few minutes. I'm going to stop it. Now we're going to reset it with the bottom button. You see how quick that just jumps all to zero again. Function's awesome. It really is a smart looking watch. I feel like, if I wanted to impress, some of the type of people I have as clients, I would be wearing this at their pad probably. Maybe I should hold on to it. It's cool, man. It's cool. This could be one of my cooler watches to have in the collection. That's it for now. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed this comeback again.